Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I'm fine. Kisumu is also fantastic. Maybe you could let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country. Where is Fred Okengo Matiang'i? That is the question. Because since William Ruto ordered the police to raid his home, nobody has seen Fred Matiang'i. Nobody has heard from him. Is he missing? Or is he hiding? But the biggest question, which I want us to look in this video, is what next for Fred Okengo Matiang'i? Because from all indications, William Ruto is actually keen on punishing Fred Okengo Matiang'i. But remember, in the last regime, Fred Matiang'i was one of the most powerful individuals in the country. In fact, through Executive Order number 1 of 2019, Uhuru Kenyatta made Fred Matiang'i a kind of the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya. And he took all the responsibilities of the Deputy President and he was performing them. And William Ruto never forgave him from that point. So when William Ruto took over the presidency of the Republic of Kenya, it was expected that a few individuals in Uhuru Kenyatta's government were going to suffer. In fact, in one of my videos, I mentioned some of them. I knew so well that there is no way Francis Atwoli was going to survive. Of course, Atwoli is smart. He's already jumped to the other side. Then I also knew that David Murathe was not going to survive. So far, David Murathe has appeared and has disappeared again. The other person who was not going to find it easy was the guy we are talking about, Fred Matiang'i. And then there is Karanja Kibichu. So far, I don't understand why William Ruto has spared the gentleman from Kirinyaga. Then the other individual I knew so well William Ruto was going to deal with was Peter Munya. So far, Peter Munya has also gone underground, not forgetting Raphael Tuju. But Matiang'i was going to bear the biggest responsibility. He was going to be punished severely. But the question is, what next for Matiang'i? Because William Ruto ordered for the raid at Matiang'i's home. There's no way this DCI could have conducted that raid without the approval of the president. So the question is, what next for Matiang'i? First of all, for us to understand what next for Matiang'i, let us try and figure out why Ruto is planning to punish Matiang'i. Number one, Matiang'i is a former powerful cabinet secretary who was handling one of the biggest dockets in the country, the Ministry for Interior. At that time, the ministry was even powerful than the one which Kindiki is dealing with now. Which means when it comes to information, Matiang'i has access to information in this country. He knows a lot. And the fact that Matiang'i knows a lot and is outside, William Ruto would not want him to know a lot. So the best thing is to punish him, coerce him, and really frustrate him. Number two, William Ruto is keen on forcing people like Matiang'i, Atwoli, Murathe, and the rest to leave Uhuru Kenyatta so that they can support Kenya Kwanza. William Ruto is keen on forcing Uhuru Kenyatta to early retirement. In fact, William Ruto would have achieved this were it not for the efforts of Raila Odinga. The other reason why Matiang'i is going to be punished is that Ruto is targeting the allies of Uhuru Kenyatta, those who made life very difficult for him. And of course, you also know that William Ruto is on a revenge mission. This guy is really frustrated, so he wants to revenge. And the other reason why he wants to punish him is to test the reaction of the Kisii. The truth is that particular raid was intended to test the reaction of the Kisii. How were the Kisiis going to react if one of their son was going to be subjected to the kind of humiliation? The leaders from the Kisii region up to this stage have not come out openly to castigate William Ruto. And also they have not come out openly to defend Matiang'i. And that's why Raila Odinga's rally today in Kisii made Matiang'i as the subject. But the question is, what next for Fred Okengo Matiang'i? Before we look at what next for Fred Okengo Matiang'i, you know so well that today, for those who watched my previous video, my wife was lucky after a lot of scare from yesterday to give birth to our third born. And the messages you guys are sending are just too much. I can't respond to all of them. And I know so many people are trying to call even right now. This phone keeps on ringing, but I can't pick it. I can't pick all of them. So I want to really thank you. And I want to single out these individuals, Kofi, Clever Inda, there is Patricia. I want to thank you guys. Then there is Benson Oriedo and Leonard Odhiambo. You told me, okay, each one of you said, okay, Lee, we are sending you pamper for the month. So I don't know if you are 4 guys, each one of them for 1 month. I've received, and I really thank you for that support. So if you call and I don't respond, please just understand. The messages are just too many from Facebook, from Twitter, and everywhere. Now, but what next for Fred Okengo Matiang'i? By the way, for those who would want to send something, the number is 0712741323. The name should be Omondi, Amos. Now, what next for Fred Okengo Matiang'i? That is the biggest question. Because he's being targeted. He doesn't have any exit route. William Ruto is going to deal with Matiang'i. That one take to the bank. Unless Matiang'i is going to surrender. And surrender is also one of the options for Matiang'i. But William Ruto is going to deal with him. But what next for him? In my view, Matiang'i has very few options, which are number one, he can become a victim. You know, it's easier to become a victim. Make yourself a victim of the community. Because the truth of the matter is that Uhuru Kenyatta gave Matiang'i so much power. He became so powerful. And by becoming so powerful, Matiang'i automatically became one of the most powerful leaders or government officials from the Gusii region. You can expect that because of Matiang'i, he was able to do A, B, C, D for the community. William Ruto, when he took over, he appointed a Gusii as a minister for education. That cannot be compared to the role which Uhuru Kenyatta gave to Matiang'i. So the truth is, if I were Matiang'i today, what I'd do, I'll become a victim. I'll go back to my roots. Like a lot of would say, sisi kama jamii. I would go back to sisi kama jamii and come up with something which will convince the Gusii region that Matiang'i is being punished because Ruto is not keen on having another Kisii to rise. Because the fact is, Matiang'i is likely to join politics. And if he joins politics, he's not only going to join politics at the county level or at the constituency level. Even if he were to run for a governor, he will be running for a governor, but he will have a national image. That is something Ruto is not keen on. In Kisii, William Ruto is keen on Osoro. That is the man William Ruto wants to be the leader of the Gusii region, not Matiang'i. So if I were him, I'd use that. And in fact, if you followed Raila Odinga's rallies today in Gusii region, the issue of Matiang'i is picking up. So they only need to escalate it. If I were Matiang'i, I'd look for the boys kwa stage, give them money. That's politics. Give them money. Nitafute wale vijana wanyakuanga kwa bunge. Give them money. Look for my numbers in those vehicles. Give them money. Then every time they start discussion about Matiang'i, how Matiang'i is being frustrated by government, how Ruto is blah, blah. If I were Matiang'i, that's what I'd do. If he can't do it, he can pay me. Then I can come up with a good strategy for him. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it's not time for Matiang'i to join politics. Because he's missing, he's hiding. He will have nowhere to go. The only thing which will shield Matiang'i is for him to join politics. Announce tomorrow that from today, henceforth, I am in Azimio. Then William Ruto will target him. Because one thing William Ruto is keen on is trying to harass these guys, intimidate them into joining Kenya Kwanza. He can say, I'm not joining Kenya Kwanza. I want to join Azimio. Well, of course, he also has the option of joining Kenya Kwanza. Then all these things will disappear, just like the ones for Atuli has disappeared. But for me, if I were Matiang'i, I'd simply join Azimio, just like Omalo has done, and then wait for Ruto to do whatever he wants to do. Then from there, you can pick it from there. If it's a political war, you can deal with it politically. If it's any other thing, you can deal with it politically. Of course, you know, Matiang'i also has information, so it means he can go with these guys head to head. Number 3 is that he can decide to challenge Ruto publicly. Where challenging Ruto publicly simply means Ruto is saying, his government, that you stole Ruaraka land. Tell them, go and take it. The way Mama Ngina did. And nobody has come back again with the issue of the tax. Just tell them, if I stole it, take it back. If there's money I picked, you have details of my accounts, close them. He can also challenge Ruto that if you want to arrest me, wewe Ruto, kuja hapa. Then we will create a discussion. So for me, that's another option to challenge Ruto. But importantly, Fred Matiang'i must be willing, in my view, to start sponsoring these anti-government rallies. He can do that. Nothing, these guys will do nothing. Because even if he won't support, the perception outside there is that he's supporting. So for me, if I were Matiang'i, I'd spend my money. Because the way things are, Matiang'i will one day wake up, all his accounts will be frozen, and he will do nothing. You know, Ruto is ruthless, so he will do nothing. So to avert all those, he needs, in my view, right now, Matiang'i needs right now to start funding anti-government rallies. You see, those vijanas, the bunge la wananchi, the gauchos, the okangas, the makamus of Kisumu, the guy from Migori, who are these? Then they can be talking about Matiang'i all the time. And lastly, he can use his influence to sabotage the government. What do I mean? Matiang'i is a former cabinet secretary for Interior for close to 6 years. He has information. That is the fact. He knows scandals of all these guys. Matiang'i has individuals in government who are sympathetic to him. These guys can be on the lookout of any scandal and forward. I hope I'm not giving too much. These guys can always tell Matiang'i what is happening. Matiang'i can use his influence to frustrate this government if he's keen. Otherwise, he can relax and wait for his day. Because the truth is, these guys are going to drag Matiang'i into the mud unless he's going to surrender, which takes me to the last option for Matiang'i. If you can't do all this, the only option you have, Matiang'i, is to surrender. Tell Ruto, wewe ndio president, wewe ndio rais. Sasa, and you won fairly. That is another option. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.